Hello dear students, welcome to our politics class. Today we are going to the next chapter, Understanding Marginalization. What do you understand by the term marginalization? The term marginalization signifies the exclusion of some communities from the mainstream. People speak a different language, follow different customs, or belong to a different religious group from the majority community. They may also feel marginalized because they are poor, considered to be of low social status. Okay, and viewed as being less human than others. Sometimes marginalized groups are viewed with hostility and fear. Okay, that feeling of exclusion leads to communities not having access to resources and opportunities, and in their inability to assert their rights, they experience a sense of disadvantage and powerlessness as compared to more powerful and dominant sections of society who own land, are wealthy, better educated, and politically powerful. Thus, marginalization is not experienced in one sphere. It is the overall effect of the economic, social, cultural, and political factors that result in certain groups of the society getting marginalized. Okay, then that they work together to make certain groups in society feel marginalized. In this chapter, we will read about two communities that are considered to be socially marginalized in India today, that are Adivasis and Muslims. First, let us discuss about Adivasis, how they are considered as a marginalized groups. Who are Adivasis? Adivasis, the term signifies the communities who are original inhabitants of forest lands. According to the data available, around 8% of India's population is Adivasi. Many of India's most important mining and industrial centers are located in Adivasi areas like Jamshedpur, Rourkela, Bokaro, and Bhilai, with others. Okay. Adivasis are not a homogeneous population. Okay, Adivasis are not a same population. There are over 500 different Adivasi groups in India. Adivasis are particularly numerous in states like Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, and in the northeastern states of Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, and Tripura. A state like Orissa is home to more than 60 different tribal groups. Okay, Adivasi societies are also most distinctive because there is often very little hierarchy among them. Hierarchy means then the caste system is a hierarchical system, graded system. Okay, so Dalits or tribal groups are considered to be at the lowest end. Okay, that was hierarchy. This makes them radically different from communities organized around principles of Jati Varna, that is castes. Okay, or those that were ruled by kings. Okay, how do we identify these groups? How? Tribals are also referred to as Adivasis. Adivasis practice a range of tribal religions that are different from Islam, Hinduism, and Christianity. These often involve the worship of ancestors, village and nature spirits. The last associated with and residing in various sites in the landscapes, mountain spirits, river spirits, animal spirits, etc. The village spirits are often worshipped at a specific sacred groves within the village boundary. Okay, while the ancestral ones are usually worshipped at home. Okay, Adivasis have always been influenced by different surroundings, religions like Shakta, Buddhist, Vaishnava, Bhakti, and Christianity. At the same time, Adivasi religions themselves have influenced the dominant religions of the empires around them. Have you heard about the term scheduled tribes and scheduled castes? Scheduled tribes is the term used for Adivasis used by the Indian government in various official documents. Okay, so the government has also done lot to protect the minority sections of the society. That is, they have been given right to protect the religion, culture, and educational rights. Okay, so there is an official list of tribes. Scheduled tribes are often grouped together with scheduled castes in the category scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Okay, we have to understand that both the state and central government in India has made various means to help marginalized groups in the country. For example, the Jagannath cult of Orissa and Shakti and Tantric traditions in Bengal and Assam. During the 19th century, substantial numbers of Adivasis converted to Christianity, okay, which has emerged as a very important religion in modern Adivasi history. Adivasis have their own languages, it possibly an old Sanskrit, okay, which have often deeply influenced the formation of mainstream Indian languages like Bengali, Santali as the largest number of speakers. Mainstream Indian language means communities that are considered to be at the center of a society, okay, has a significant body of publications including magazines on the internet. Let's see. Two images of tribal communities in their traditional costumes are often the only ways in which Adivasi communities are represented. This then leads us to think of them as being exotic and backward. That is an unusual style, exotic and backward. Adivasis and stereotyping. In India, we usually showcase Adivasi communities in particular ways. Thus, during school functions or other official events or in books and movies. How are Adivasis stereotyped? Adivasis are invariably portrayed in very stereotypical ways, in colorful costumes, headgear, and through their dancing. Okay? People seem to know very little about the realities of their lives. This often wrongly leads to people believing that they are exotic, primitive, and backward. Often, Adivasis are blamed for their lack of advancement as they are believed to be resistant to change or new ideas. Okay. How stereotyping particular communities can lead to people discriminating against such groups. You have learned in the class 6th. Okay. Do you know? Yes, groups are often stereotyped on the basis of sex, gender, identity, race, nationality, socio-economic status, and language. Okay. Next, Adivasis and development. How are Adivasis developed? Okay. As you have already learned in your history textbook, forests were absolutely crucial to the development of all empire. Okay. So, settled civilization in India, metal ores like iron and copper, gold and silver, coal and diamonds, invaluable timber, most medicinal herbs and animal products like wax, lac, honey, and animals themselves like elephants, the mainstay of imperial armies, all came from the forests. In addition, the continuation of life depended heavily on forests that helped recharge many of India's rivers and, as is becoming clear now, okay, crucial to the availability and quality of our air and water. What metals are important in present day India? Why? Where do they come from? Are there Adivasi population there? Okay. Can you say iron, steel, aluminium, copper, tin, etc. are very essential for survival. Okay. So these metals are excavated from minerals which are discovered from various parts of India. That is then Jharkhand, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, etc. Okay. Adivasis are occupied there. Forests covered the major part of our country till the 19th century. Okay. Adivasis had a deep knowledge of access to as well as a control over most of these vast tracts at least till the middle of the 19th century. Okay. So they were not ruled by large states and empires. Okay. Instead, often empires heavily depend on Adivasis for the crucial access to forest resources. Okay. Can you say 5 products that you use at home that come from the forest? Can you say? Yes, we get medicine from forest. Okay. Then gum from forest. Then wood. Then rubber. Then food. Okay. That is honey. Okay. Okay. These are the products we get from forest. This is radically contrary to our image of Adivasis today as somewhat marginal and powerless communities. In the pre-colonial world, they were traditionally ranged hunter-gatherers and nomads and lived by shifting agriculture and also cultivating in one place to another place. Okay, Adivasis are nomads and lived by shifting agriculture and also cultivating in one place to another place. Understand? Although these remain for the past 200 years, Adivasi have been increasingly forced through economic changes, forest policies, and political force applied by the state and private industry to migrate to live as workers in plantations, at construction sites, in industries, and as domestic workers. For the first time in history, they do not control or have much direct access to the forest territories. Forest lands have been cleared for timber and to get land for agriculture and industry. Adivasis have also lived in areas that are rich in minerals and other natural resources. These are taken over for mining and other large industrial projects. Powerful forces have often colluded to take over tribal land. That means then powerful forces have often then secret agreement to take over that area. Okay, tribal land. Much of the time, the land is taken away forcefully and procedures are not followed. According to the official figures, more than 50% of persons displaced or compelled to due to mines and mining projects are tribals. Another recent survey report by organizations working among Adivasis shows that 79% of the persons displaced from the states of Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Orissa, and Jharkhand are tribals. Okay, huge tracts of their lands have also gone under the waters of hundreds of dams that have been built in independent India. Let's see. This is a photo of Niyamgiri Hill located in district of Orissa. This area is inhabited by Adivasi community. Okay, a major aluminium company is planning to set up a mine and a refinery here, which will displace this Adivasi community. They have strongly resisted this proposed development and have been joined by environmentalists as well. A case against the company is also pending in the Supreme Court. Okay. In the northeast, their lands remain highly militarized and war-torn. Highly armed forces is considerable. Okay, and war-torn. India has 54 national parks and 372 wildlife sanctuaries, covering 1,09,652 square kilometers. These are areas where tribals originally lived but were evicted from. When they continue to stay in these forests, they are termed encroachers. Losing their lands and access to the forest means that tribals lost their main sources of livelihood and food, having gradually lost access to their traditional homelands. Many Adivasis have migrated to cities in search of work where they are employed for very low wages in local industries or at building or construction sites. Thus, get caught in a cycle of poverty and deprivation. 45% of tribal groups in rural areas and 35% in urban areas live below the poverty line. Below the poverty line. Okay, please note that. This leads to deprivation in other areas. Many tribal children are malnourished. That means not get to adequate food. Okay, adequate. Then literacy rates among tribal are also very low. When Adivasis are displaced from their lands, they lost much more than a source of income. They lost their traditions and customs, a way of living and being. They took our farming land, they left some houses, they took the cremation ground, temple, well and pond. Okay. We know that there exist an interconnections between the economic and social dimensions of tribal life. Destruction in one sphere naturally impact the other. But now Adivasis do not control or have much direct access to the forest territories. They lived by shifting agriculture and also cultivating in one place. Then they had to also vacate the original lands for wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. Often, this process of dispossession and displacement can be painful and violent. Dear students, next topic we will discuss in the next class. You must read the lesson carefully. Thank you.